No Coutinho, of course. He's got an illness.
Yeah.
After a back injury has kept him out at the start of the season. Apparently, Barca are about to... They want another bid.
How desperate are Barca?
£140 million.
They are desperados.
For Coutinho, he's not even one of the best, what, top 15 players in the world? It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, he's a good player.
He's not 150 million,
no.
Craig.
But then Kyle Walker's not 50 million. I mean, the thing is, they are absolutely desperate. Right? That's it. They're flagging. They've got board problems. They've got Messi problems in terms of their contract. They've lost Neymar, and they're talking about suing him, and they are absolutely desperate. The rumour has it they're trying to encourage Dembele at Dortmund to not go to training. There's lots of rumours there. To pay this kind of money, it would just be crazy.
How much is enough, Stevie, before you sell him? There's got to be a figure.
Can you imagine they get 150 for him?
No, it's not.
150 million.
It's not. Listen, the problem I have is that if Liverpool are in financial trouble, then you take the money, because that has to be sorted out. Liverpool are not in financial trouble. Liverpool, if Barcelona and all this Coutinho stuff had never come to the front, Liverpool have money to go out and buy defenders. Everybody says take the money and go and buy defenders. Liverpool can afford to do that right now without the Coutinho money.
But they could do it and still have money in the bank.
Well, how's about, right? How's about you go and let them have Coutinho, and you get all this money, and all of a sudden you've got all your fans around the world, not just in Liverpool, saying, hold on a second, I want to support a team that's actually going to try and win one of the major prestigious tournaments. What happens if they all disappear and go somewhere else?
Who's
You're going to lose your money.
disappearing?
Do you think round the world...
fans are suddenly going to go, I'm going to burn my shirt now. I'm not going to support Liverpool because they sold Coutinho?
Do you think all these new fans around the world, in Asia, right, if they've been supporting Liverpool for one season and they start getting rid of all the... You think they're just...
Is that seriously your argument here? That is why you can't sell Coutinho, because you're worried about Asian fans supporting them for a year.
I'm just saying that's a possibility.
Plastic fans are always going to leave the team. It doesn't matter what happens. I'll tell
you about all the Arsenal fans then that got rid of the season tickets.
Stevie, really?
Because of crap.
Stevie, really?
They've got rid of the season tickets.
Well, that's their choice.
Well, it's exactly. So if you've got a board and an owner who doesn't care about winning tournaments, some people might just say, you know what? I've had enough of this. I'm not going to go and spend money on a season ticket. I'm not going to go and buy your jerseys.
Stevie, realistically, there can't be any fan with a brain in their head would stop supporting a club like Liverpool because they took something close to 150 million for a player they got because Inter Milan wanted to get rid of him.
They might. All these new fans might just say, you know what?
About new fans? What are you talking about, man?
Well, the old school guys are going to just stay with it. But what are all these new fans that everybody keeps talking about?
New fans? What the hell are you talking about?
Well, there's branding. Oh, there's branding that's been going on. So where do they all come from? What do you call them?
So Liverpool's future and playing future and financial future hinges on these new fans in Asia.
As usual. Right. As usual, we take it to the nth degree. I'm just saying. The point is that people are just going to turn around and say, right, I'll tell you what, I've had enough of this.
What, for 150
They just get rid of all the best players.
No.
But they don't need money.
Everybody needs the money. Come on.
It's a lot of money, Steve.
I'll tell you what, put it this way then. If they sold Coutinho, I would absolutely have a problem with the Fenway Group. 100%.
What, for 150 million?
Yes.
Oh, we'll leave
because they're basically saying, we're not interested in winning the Premier League, or we're not interested in doing well in the Champions League. Because every time somebody comes along with a chequebook, we're just going to sell the players.
No, everyone comes along with an absolutely stupid price that is probably double what a player is worth.
Listen, regardless of the number,
Stevie, if
you're making a statement that, you know what, the money's more important than doing something, like getting near to winning the Premier League.
If this was any other big club in the Premier League, you would be saying, sell them now.
From a business point of view, of course it makes sense. Right. But you know what? Liverpool fans are sick of listening to you about business point of view. It's all business. We need to do this for the business. How about we try and win a Premier League? Or try and do something in the Champions League?
Because you not use that money then to buy players. The 150 million to really invest.
But Dan, the point I'm making is right now Liverpool have money to go and buy players. Without this 150, That's the whole point.
But they don't.
If they were desperate for money and had financial trouble, yes, you take the money. Of course you do. Because at the end of the day, if the club's struggling financially, you want the club to actually be there. But they're not in that position.
But
they're in a position where they've got money to buy people without that money.
No, but they're limited. Wage structure. You know this, Stevie. Liverpool can't compete with the big boys because of their wage structure. You bring in that sort of money, you can blow that apart and become a real contender.
Do you remember a team called Borussia Dortmund?
Yes.
They had a wage structure. They competed with the likes of Bayern, who could outbuy and outsell them for fun. They managed to do it.
But Borussia Dortmund sold their best players, didn't they?
Guess what they did first? They won the Bundesliga and they got to a Champions League final before they sold all their best players. How about that for a strategy?
But now what? Now we're at Dortmund. 30 points off Bayern last season.
Yeah, why? Because they sold all the best players.
Oh, this is going around in circles.
They sold all the best players. You make him a point for me.
Right.
What chance have we got of winning in if you sell your best players? A la Borussia Dortmund.
Borussia Dortmund, of course, are in the Champions League. They are in pot 2. We now know the 32 teams that make up the 4 different pots. Gab Marcotti is in Monaco for the draw, and Gab loves this because he gets to play fantasy draw. Gab, what is your dream draw tomorrow?
Well, as you know, I love draws almost as much as Craig Burley does. So my dream draw, my toughest draw would be Real Madrid, the defending champions, Paris Saint-Germain with all their hype, Napoli, who ran Real Madrid pretty close and have a bit of an axe to grind, and Leipzig. That's right, Leipzig, the team everybody loves to hate. I think we would get some pretty cracking encounters out of that.
People hate Leipzig, of course, because they bought lots of players.
That would leave a lot of weaker teams on the other side of the section. And thus, what we're going to get, what we got again last year.
Have you changed your tune at all over the Champions League?
What, the group stages?
Yes.
No, it'll be the usual suspects that will probably go through, No.
We say that, though, but there is some interest. Like last year, we thought...
I said there was no interest. I didn't say there was no interest.
Right.
I said it will go by the usual suspects that will go through, and we'll probably... Last year, was it Legia Warsaw getting hammered by Dortmund by 6 in Poland? You know, we saw Celtic getting thrashed by Barcelona. There was too many scorelines like that at this stage of the competition, or too many games that were one-sided. And there was a few good ones that popped in as well, because the draw might throw that up. But it won't, let's be honest, it won't really get to the exciting part until we get to the knockout.
Shaka, I felt you haven't spoken for a few minutes.
That's all right. I'm quite comfortable just letting Craig and Stevie and your good self, Dan, do your thing.
Liverpool.
Are you worried about their Asian fans?
Yeah. Those new fans...
Not quite so much as Stevie is, apparently.
They've only been on a year.
I'm not that worried about Liverpool and their fans. But with the Champions League, I will say you'll get your hidings, you'll get a couple of surprises, but I think ultimately UEFA's responsibilities are more than just to what draws TV audiences.
Group stages, Stevie? Thoughts? Liverpool could play Barcelona, couldn't they?
Yeah, all those plastic fans from a year ago.
Listen,
I have a feeling this will keep coming up, you know.
We sat last year in the group stages both. The Champions League, the mere fact it's called the Champions League, you kind of perk up and go, oh, well, we're going to get some great games here. It's all and then the reality is we don't until the knockout stages. Right. That's just a fact.
Gab, it's a fact that you have certainly disagreed with in the past.
Yeah, and I'll disagree with it again. You guys, you may not have noticed, but the format has changed. So now the way they do the pots, every team in pot 1 is either Real Madrid, the defending champions, or there's somebody who's won their league. What that means is you've got a lot of very good teams like Paris Saint-Germain, like Barcelona, like whoever finished second in England, like Tottenham, who dropped down to pot 2. So what that basically means is even if you can say it's predictable who's going to go through, well, at least you're going to get at least a couple of really high-end encounters in the group stage, and that's something we didn't have before.
Thanks, Gab. Also in Monaco, Paul Pogba. We'll be hearing from him in an exclusive interview after the break. Welcome back. ESPN FC's Leyland Lee was with Paul Pogba today in Monaco. Pogba was there for the launch of UEFA's new Respect campaign. Layla was given an access all area pass for a feature you can see on the website a little later this week. Here is a little clip.
Well, even in the private airport area, you've got everyone asking for your photo.
Yeah.
It's got to take a lot of patience.
True, yeah. Sometimes when you're tired, sometimes when you just...
After a bad day, when you feel like
Exactly.
you don't want to take a photo, right?
It's your job.
Does anyone ever get angry?
Oh, yes, they do.
Really?
Yeah.
What have they done?
Like, they get like, oh, just a picture. And, you know, but when you see if someone comes with a kid,
Yeah.
you cannot say no.
Ah, that's the trick. They bring their kid forward.
And sometimes people, they say, oh, smile, can you smile? Yeah, smile, you know?
They ask you to smile.
Yes.
They probably ask you to dab all the time.
Oh, yeah, can you dab?
Oh,
Dab, smile.
are you sick of dabbing yet?
No, never.
Has there been a famous person that you've met and you've been like, oh, I want to take a picture, but I'm not gonna?
With Ronaldo.
Oh, you can't not, can you?
Ronaldo he makes me play football. Because of him, I play football, so I had to say it's your fault. It's your fault, adapt, it's all you. All your fault.
If you're ever angry with Pogba, blame Ronaldo. Have you ever pretended not to be you?
Yes. Oh, so many times. Is that Pogba? No. Yeah, it's you. So why you asking? Say, no, it's not me.
Have you ever gotten away with it?
Yes, when my brother is here. Oh, it's so nice. When my brother, they ask picture of my brother and I just go behind. Poof, I'm gone. I love it.
So there's lots of people out there with pictures of your brother thinking that it's you.
Yeah.
I bet that happens a lot.
A lot more from Paul Pogba on the next edition of ESPN FC. Meanwhile, coming up after the break, we'll get the boys' reaction to news that Wayne Rooney has retired from international football. Welcome back. Wayne Rooney then announces he's retiring from international football. He does so as the all-time top goal scorer for England, 53 goals. His retirement has sparked a bit of a debate as to how great he was at international.
Well, this is this sort of hypocritical part of the show where we've sat for a couple of years and some have had different opinions about, oh, he should be out in Man United, he's not great, can't do this, can't do that. Now we've got to sit and eulogise about him. Yeah?
We don't have to eulogise. You can do whatever you want.
I'm just saying it's very... We get to that stage where he gets lots of stick and then he announces retirement and all of a sudden the hypocrisy comes round and we start, you know, turning into sycophants.
So where do you stand on Wayne Rooney?
Well, it's pretty good. Well, I mean, I haven't been slagging him off, to be honest with you, but if you score that amount of goals, then that's a great record. What I would say, he was part of a so-called golden generation with Ferdinand and Neville and Gerrard and Lampard, the list goes on, but in the World Cups, the main elite tournament, it didn't quite happen.
He scored one goal. You scored a goal at World Cup. Can't be that difficult.
Let's remember, though, that...
Thank you.
He was playing as a striker in a team that never performed. And most strikers are relying on what's behind them in order to succeed. Now, he did score a lot of goals, but when it came to major tournaments, his teammates were that bad that they probably... Well, they didn't.
Come on, Gerrard,
they didn't
Lampard
But they didn't perform.
Neither did he.
If you're playing centre-forward...
Neither did he.
And they're not creating chances for you, what chance have you got? You can't blame him.
He wasn't always the main striker. He sometimes played off a striker.
But he plays up front. And guys up front rely on what's going on behind them. And if what's going on behind you isn't up to scratch, then guess who's going to suffer? That's probably why his record in the major tournaments isn't as good as, well, normal internationals.
I'm with Stevie on this. I think the golden generation disappointed throughout, and Wayne Rooney just kind of paid the price in terms of goals as a result.
How can he get a pass, then?
I think he gets a pass because his record, when fit, stands up. Remember, in 2006, the metatarsal injury kind of minimised his inclusion and obviously return there. And I think that kind of summed up Wayne Rooney, that when he was at his best, he never seemed to be fully fit for the England national team. But his record stands up against anybody's.
Well, it doesn't, not in World Cups. I mean, England are playing all these qualifiers now. They always win the group. They're always top of the group and then go to the World Cup and they don't do anything. So, you know...
I mean, but at the same time, at both club and international level, he's played alongside and up against incredible talents, and his record stands up. He's now only the second member in the 200-goal club in the Premier League alongside Alan Shearer. Nobody would ever question his abilities as a striker. He's the leading goal scorer for Manchester United. You don't get that by accident. Leading goal scorer for England.
No, I don't think anyone's questioning his career. I think internationally is what we're particularly focused on.
And my point is, I think when he was at his best form, he suffered with injuries, and as a result, probably didn't have the record that he would like in an England shirt. I don't think that should count against him, that the fact that between injuries and a poor golden generation, as it were...
Which he was part of.
Yeah, but the team...
I mean, I'm not questioning his career. His career was great, right? But a lot of these guys, they're judged when they went to the World Cup, when they went to perform for England. Now, there was a team in 1990, an English team, that almost got to the final of the World Cup. They lost in the semi-final. They never come close to that in that generation, which he was part of in terms of his club career at Man United. It was excellent.
A lot more reaction to Wayne Rooney's retirement then on to international football over at the website. Mark Ogden breaking it down over on ESPN FC.
Like it?
Share it.